Hello Wolfpack, welcome back to another Bitcoin analysis. Now those of you who watched my content before know my opinions on Bitcoin at the moment. Let's briefly go into it. I think the Bitcoin is seeing a pre-recession rally, just like we see with the S&P 500. The S&P 500, generally speaking, before we see a recession, which is basically guaranteed at this point, alright? If you don't know that already, I highly suggest you watch some of my previous content where I delve into it a bit deeper. A recession is basically guaranteed at this point in the United States economy, and that's going to spread throughout the West most likely because obviously most Western countries are heavily reliant on the USD as a reserve currency and also as a currency of base trading transactions. So if the USD gets highly inflated and if the US economy goes into a recession, that is going to negatively affect the West. I mean, that's common knowledge at this point, right? But essentially what we generally see before we see a recession is a rally on the S&P 500 and the DJI and all of the traditional markets, so NASDAQ, etc., things like that. We see a rally. And this can go for an unspecified amount of time. There's no real indication as to where it goes. The point is, and I've got into this quite a bit recently, it is an irrational rally. It's a rational price action, so it's not able to be rationally predicted as to where it's going to go next, right? And seeing as Bitcoin is pegged to the S&P 500, Bitcoin follows this irrational price action. For those of you who don't know, Bitcoin is in a bearish structure right now, right? Regardless of what moon boys on YouTube and crypto Twitter would say to you, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. Bitcoin is in a bearish structure and Bitcoin is technically in a bear market. Why? It's below the 200-day SMA, which is a very good indicator of what's a bear market or not. It's also recently just been struggling with the 50-week SMA. It's currently slightly above it. I mean, actually, as of current price action, it's below it, but the weekly candle closes in 22 hours, and that red line there, the 50-week SMA, if we lose that, that's just going to be further confirmation that this is a bear market. It's also fallen 50% from all-time highs, right? And if you say a 50% drop is not a bear market, I don't know what to say to you, right? Something halving in valuation obviously constitutes a bear market. At some point, you just have to move past the mental block and actually start using the word, right? It's not a scary word. It's not going to bite you. Just say it how it is. Bitcoin is in a bear market right now, right? And the fact of the matter is, the way I'm seeing it, is the only reason Bitcoin's going up right now is because we're seeing an irrational pump due to pre-recession rallies, which we generally see on traditional markets. As you guys know, Bitcoin is pegged to those markets and it will continue with those markets. So when that pre-recession rally falls over, which is inevitable, right? I mean, you can see the overvaluation here. It's inevitable this is going to fall over eventually. It's very hard to predict when. That will lead to Bitcoin falling over. Now, even just looking at the TA, because I know saying, oh, pre-recession rally, you know, all these irrational price action, it's all well and good, but we need to be able to predict something. And what we can do, just looking at the TA, is predict that, well, Bitcoin is in a bearish structure. An ascending channel formation, which we're in right now, is a bearish structure. It's a pattern of grinding upwards and it's a pattern of exhaustion, right? What we are seeing is an ascending channel formation with descending volume on the green candles. I just drew that line there to show that, which means that the trend is upwards, but the volume is downwards, meaning the higher we go, the less market participants are willing to buy Bitcoin at those higher prices. Bitcoin has, however, made some progress, and this is due to the pre-recession rally we're seeing in the irrational price action for traditional markets. It has made some progress. It's broken above market support. It's broken above this resistance box previously at 44.5k to around 46k, which is now a support box, and we're testing that right now. However, it has been strongly rejecting from a 200-day SMA, the green line, with two shooting star candles to the upside, or similar to shooting star candles. It is also rejected from the POC, and it is also rejected from the channel structure. So unless Bitcoin, right, take note, unless Bitcoin is able to break 48.7k, and this is rising by the day right now, 48.7k, this is a bearish structure according to the TA, right? That's negating everything that's going on with the irrational price action in traditional markets. TA alone, at technical analysis on a pure and fundamental level, Bitcoin is bearish as long as it is below 48.7k at this point, right? Please remember that. That is the ultimate target. If we don't break above 48.7k, we are still bearish. We're still in a macro downwards trend on Bitcoin. You can say it's a short-term upwards trend. It is, for sure, a short-term upwards trend. We've made a higher high. We're coming down. We possibly make a higher low here as well. So for sure, we're looking good in the short term. But as of the macro situation, it's not looking too good good on Bitcoin. That's just the reality. Now, when we look at something like the 4-year cycle, we can really start to see this come to light. I'm not going to dive into it too much because it's very complicated. I actually did a whole 15-minute video dedicated to this, but essentially there is a reoccurring trend, and you can read through this right now. Pause the video, look at the color-coded correlations, and you can see there is a reoccurring trend here that's happened on 3 separate occasions, and so 3 points is enough to make an actual trend. It's not a theory anymore, it's a trend. That suggests Bitcoin will be bottoming out at 24K in November to December this year. It also more likely suggests, and more probably, certainly suggests that Bitcoin the top is in, right? The top is in, the all-time high is in for Bitcoin. And if we break an all-time high before August to September 2023, that would be an invalidation of the 4-year cycle theory. Right? So everyone who is bullish right now, you are betting against a trend that has existed for more than 10 years, right? That's not me saying that you shouldn't be doing that. That's just what it is. Does it sound logical to you to bet against a trend that's been going for 10 years? It doesn't sound like the fundamental rule of investing. One of the most important rules of investing, I think Warren Buffett even said this, invest with the trend until it ends, or the trend is your friend until it ends, right? Betting against a 10-year long trend going into a recession doesn't really seem like a good idea to me, unfortunately. Now, some new information going into this video is the fact that, well, as you guys would be aware, altcoins are doing pretty well right now, right? And that's not kind of much of a surprise. I mean, if we looked at the total cryptocurrency market cap, for example, we broke out of a triangle structure. We look at something like Ethereum. We broke out of we broke out of a bearish pennant structure, or a bear flag structure, I should say. But it's more likely a bearish pennant, right? Which would have suggested that we go all the way down here to 900 USD, right? We actually broke that to the upside, which is, ultra bullish. It's good to see. However, the point is, this stuff isn't caused by natural breakouts. As I've said, this is caused by irrational price action on the S&P 500 that cannot be trusted to keep going, right? It may keep going. Bitcoin may go up. Hey, I'm not even saying we can't do this. It could even go all the way past 48.7K. Bitcoin could go to 53K and still be bearish technically in terms of macro. Why? Why is that? Because the rally we are seeing is so evidently irrational. It's not a real rally. It's not real price action. Short term, if that happens, if we break 48.7K, buy some altcoins, buy some Bitcoin, take some trades, just understand that it's not sustainable because it's not really what's meant to be happening. That doesn't mean you can't trade. It just means you need to keep in the back of your mind, this is fake, and you need to be willing to have tight stop losses and good risk management, right? A lot of people get confused. When I say I'm macro bearish, they think that I'm shorting the market. I'm getting out of all my positions, shorting the market every day. That's not even what's happening. In fact, I'm actually currently trading. In fact, I'm actually in spot positions as of right now as we speak, right? But the point is, I'm understanding that this irrational price action can only go on for so long. And so I'm in those spot positions, but I'm also got very tight stop losses, and I'm using very decent risk management to manage that risk and understand that, well, I'm investing against the trend right now, right? The short-term trend's upwards, but I know the macro trend is downwards, and so you need to take extra caution when you're doing things like that. But looking at, for example, the Bitcoin dominance chart, this is the new aspect of information I want to talk about in this video, right? Looking at Bitcoin dominance, what we can actually see is Bitcoin dominance dropping, altcoins performing quite well, as I just looked at, while Bitcoin is in this rejection zone. What does this tell you? It tells you that we're seeing a miniature, I don't want to say altcoin season, but technically the right word to use would be altcoin season, but it's really not an altcoin season, right? But we're seeing a miniature period in which altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. What this usually indicates, okay, let me actually bring up a diagram to explain this. Okay, when Bitcoin is in a downtrend, a local downtrend like it's in now, it's just been rejected, and we see money flow from Bitcoin into Ethereum, right? So what we're seeing right now, Ethereum going up while Bitcoin's going down, that constitutes a period in which altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. This is the crypto money flow, right? When we see this happen, it starts out with Ethereum. Ethereum starts pumping. Then we see the money move down into altcoins, and that's what's happening right now. Altcoins are going really well while Bitcoin's going badly. Eventually, Bitcoin will crash. People will sell their altcoins for fiat, and the whole market will go down. That is the crypto money cycle flow. When you start to see Bitcoin stagnate or Bitcoin go down while altcoins are doing well, that is an indication that the market is in an unstable position. It's an indication that you're about to see a sell-off, right? Using common sense and using prior trends and using this kind of pattern that we're seeing, we can assume that Bitcoin is going to see a sell-off below 44.5K. However, it's not that simple. As I said, if the irrational price action from the S&P 500 keeps going on, we will pump. We will pump. I'll say that right now. However, if the real TA, the real technical analysis prevails, we will go down. I know it sounds like we might go up, we might go down, but that's simply what it is right now, okay? We can't be more clear because there's simply no way to predict what's going to happen when you're seeing a rational price action from the S&P 500. If I had $1 for every time I've said irrational in this video, I would be a billionaire. But that is essentially the Bitcoin analysis for today and the crypto market analysis today. It's really just instilling what I said in my last video with that extra piece of evidence from the Bitcoin dominance chart to say the TA right now, the technical analysis is bearish. It's bearish, right? However, a rational price action can do whatever it wants to the price. But what I want you guys to look at in the next few days is 44.5K. If we lose that, we will be going down most likely to around 39K to test the bottom of this channel. If we break above 48.7K, we will be going up most likely to test 53K. On the weekly candle close, which is the next candle close, the next time I speak to you guys tomorrow, this candle will be closed and we'll be talking about this. You need to be watching the 50-week SMA at 45.7K. If we close the weekly candle below 45.7K, that would be an extremely bearish indicator for Bitcoin. That would be extremely bearish. And if we close the weekly candle below 44.1K, which is unlikely, but it could happen, that would be ultra bearish, right? We really don't want to be closing the weekly candle below 44.1K. 45.7K would be terrible. Anything above that region is a good weekly candle close. Anything above 45.7K is a good weekly candle close for Bitcoin. I don't personally have high hopes, but I understand that it's kind of out of my control what happens here because of that S&P 500 rally. Let's see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in a minute. Please make sure to check out the Telegram channel info link in the description below. My kind of walk exclusive, I guess you could say VIP channel, I hate using that word, is going to be opening up in around 4 days, and in 3 days we're going to be posting the results for this month's trade. Just a quick little hint as to what they are. We've seen trade results almost up to 300% in the last month on my trading channel. And just to give you an indication of how good that actually is, the market has gone up since we started that channel. Let's just see here where we are. The market has gone up about 30% collectively. We've about 10x the performance of the market, just below 10x the performance of the market in that walk exclusive Telegram group. If you want to be in on that, make sure to check out that channel, join that channel. I'll be posting more information in the few days below. That will be in the pinned comment, Telegram info group. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.